What's up, guys? Welcome to Keto Rewind. Today we have a special guest. Obviously, I'm Jess, but I've brought on Kyle, aka the husband.
Yeah.
And today's video is going to be a little off topic than I normally do. I've mentioned many times before that my husband has lost a significant amount of weight. He did it a long time ago before it was cool or a thing to do keto or IF, and I thought you guys would enjoy his story. So I guess let's get to it.
Let's get started.
So where do we even begin?
I think you wanted to do an elimination diet back in like 2012. So in January 2012 we did this. And then, I don't know, for the entire month, I felt pretty good. We didn't really eat anything other than, probably veggies and meat. And that was probably about it. And then it was your dad's birthday. And you made
a huge
raviolis or something like that.
Full of carbs.
And it really made me cramp up pretty bad. So
10 minutes after dinner was over.
And then I was immediately to the bathroom. Which, when I was a kid, I distinctly remember being in karate, and I would, every time I had a kick, we had a little extra boost of air coming out of the back in there. So, apparently I've always had a small issue with...
Big issue.
A big issue with
wheat
and digestive issues from it. So basically, all that stopped. So I really haven't had any wheat or anything since. And then I just continued on with what she wanted to do anyway. And we both lost a lot of weight from...
2012 to 2013.
Up to, February 2013 or so. And then, of course, in 2013, we had all kinds of craziness happening. So,
well, I got pregnant.
Because I wound up getting her pregnant then. It wasn't for a lack of trying or anything.
Yeah.
It just finally happened. So I don't know.
Well, obviously cutting out the carbs.
Diet related.
And we wound up pregnant. No carbs, no sugar, no wheat. Wound up pregnant, both of us, so.
But, 2012, I don't know when I started intermittent fasting. I know it was sometime in 2012. I found the Lean Gain site.
Leangains.com?
I think it's over there now. It used to be on some random blogger page or whatever
it was. 7-8 years ago.
Yeah, so.
And I would scoff at him every time he'd be fasting because I didn't understand why he would not be eating food. I thought, or I was annoyed that he wasn't eating breakfast with me, and pigging out with me.
I told her all about it too.
And I was like, what? I didn't get it. And lo and behold, he was right all along. But I distinctively remembering being so annoyed with him for not eating and doing this whole fasting thing. He wouldn't eat till 1 o'clock and mind you, he was shrinking and I was getting bigger.
Yep.
So yeah, you were right all along.
So it was
I'll say it officially.
And then then she takes me over to a bike shop and tells me to buy a bike. We both I think we both bought one,
just a basic,
a basic bike, and then we both really liked it, so we went and upgraded, and I've been
he's been cycling ever since.
So
that turned into an obsession now, and he calls it his psychologist because he's always out cycling.
Yeah.
Huge, what do you average each ride?
It's only 30 to 40.
30 to 40, but every day, that's a lot, way more than most people do. But that's his way of maintaining his weight loss, and it helps. It just gets that mentally huge. He'll come back he'll be annoyed at something at work. He'll come back and be like a changed man. It just gets it out. So that physical endorphin rush from the cycling, you've got to find what works for you. For me, I like going and doing strength training. His is cycling. So But if a walk is what you need, if you like to do cardio, if you like swimming, dance, Zumba, something, but just move your body is basically, what we're getting at there.
Yep.
So then I guess we could talk about the gains and losses throughout, to get us caught up. Yeah. For me, obviously I pumped 2 babies out since this time happened, and he would sympathy eat with me. So you know how there's like a saying, I forget what it was called, but when you gain your pregnancy weight, it's called sympathy weight. So I'd be picking out on hamburgers or cupcakes or who knows what, because I gained a lot of weight with my first kid. I went from we enjoyed every pound of that.
I joined her.
And I don't think you gained 60. You
we were also moving at the same time though.
Yes,
so we were moving. She was pregnant
to another state.
So there's a lot. There's just a lot happening right there.
High stress. I don't deal with stress well.
So we're selling a house. We're buying a house. We're moving all of our stuff from Florida into a storage unit in Texas. We don't even have a place to put it yet, so it's straight into a storage unit. And
it was hectic.
Not only that, and then right after that, we got to go look at houses and go buy a house and everything. So
and then, hope the baby doesn't come out. I'm 8 months pregnant.
Big mess for at least 2 months because you're trying to sell a house in Florida. It was just a lot.
A lot of stress. So, and eating out because it was just easier, stressful, and
you don't want to cook because it can stink the house up. You never knew when somebody would be coming to look at the house.
Yes. We lived in a showroom for like 2 months there.
It's an excuse.
Yeah. So eating out was a great way, or not a great way. It was not smart, but that was a lot of the weight gain came from eating out.
Yeah.
And not making your own menus, not tracking macros, and we were, before that all happened when I got pregnant, we were tracking macros every day.
Oh, yeah.
He added fasting into his, but we were tracking and being very accountable for our food. Mm-hmm. And then I got pregnant and it was like party, and everything went from there. And then obviously we didn't know at that time we were going to be moving in a couple months down the line, but had we been good all along, we could have maybe not gained so much when the first daughter was born. So, and plus I had one of those pregnancies where I didn't even feel pregnant. It was the easiest pregnancy ever. If I didn't see the baby on the ultrasound, I would wonder if there was even a baby in there. So it was a real easy pregnancy. So baby came and he lost all the weight. You know what he did? Fasting, cycling, and obviously diet. He was eating, because of the wheat intolerance, gluten allergy, celiac, whatever you want to call it, he was already not eating wheat. So cutting sugar and all that other stuff out, he popped and got the baby, his baby weight. It wasn't as much as mine, but he was back to normal in no time, where I was humongous. I was fighting with my milk supply because I was breastfeeding. I was a new mom adjusting, and it was just so much easier to keep not caring about my health, to put everything else, before my needs. And it was a good excuse, and I held on to that excuse. I'm too busy, I'm whatever. So then, a year goes by, and I didn't lose the weight. I was still, 270. I think I was 270 pounds at that point. And not thinking anything different, we were like, well, let's get, I think our daughter, our daughter was about 11 months old. She was approaching her first birthday, and I'm like, let's do the whole 30. So, of course, he does it with me. He's always been my partner in crime. We're good to go. 30 days later, we run into my OBGYN who delivered our daughter, and
At Chipotle,
because we were eating very well. And went home, and I was like, that's weird. I ran into her out in public. I haven't had my period in a while. I better take a test. Not expecting, because it took 6 years for us to conceive the first kid. Because a lot of that was, probably 99% of that was diet, and stress and all this stuff. So I just done a whole 30, which is super close to keto. It has a couple of legumes and honey, a few other, no, not honey. I don't know. It's a real restrictive diet. I didn't even know about keto at this point. Keto still, to me, was, never heard of it. It's
really not that far off from if you would log your macros, you probably wouldn't be that far off with a whole 30. I think they do potatoes now, but
Yeah.
Then they didn't.
Yeah.
So.
So 30 days goes by. I drop weight. Hormone reset. We're pregnant. So now I'm like, oh crap, I'm 270 pounds. I didn't lose the weight. I'm pregnant. Oh no. So unfortunately, that pregnancy, I was sick all the time. I threw up for like 6 of the 9 months. It was disgusting. I felt horrible. I knew I was pregnant. There was no question. So I ended up gaining like 20 pounds with her. And that was basically baby weight, if you will. Thankfully that it was a rough pregnancy, because if it was like the first one, I would have gained way more. So now I'm at 295-ish, give birth. Now I've got 2 kids under 2. I had a 19-month-old and a newborn. And that was like our chaotic life had already gone even more chaotic. Once again, he gained with me, and lost right away. He had an excellent, his company that he works for, the paternity leave for
12 weeks off.
3 months off. So he was off when that was awesome. I would love to give a shout out, but I can't say that company name. But he lost his weight. He's out cycling, doing, eating well, and here I am, stuff in my face, still not following by his example. I wasn't, I should have just followed his lead, because he did it so many times and he's successful, and I still had every excuse in the world not to jump on the bandwagon. Even though my health was deteriorating rapidly with my genetic heart defect, I was lucky enough not to have insulin or cholesterol issues, but I probably wasn't far off of it. So fast forward 4 years, now we're at 2019. I'm 309 pounds. I can't keep up with my kids. How much did you were up?
I was 240 at the beginning of
240 of this year, right?
Yeah.
240. So, because I don't know what your tally is for your loss, but basically every time I gain weight, he does it with me and then loses it. and this time around, I did it with him. So we both agreed we were going to do keto. He knew how miserable I was, how awful I felt, and he was that person when I wanted a weak moment. I like the first 2 weeks of keto, I felt awful. I was manic with the sugar cravings. It's when I realized I had a sugar addiction in the first place. He was so strong for me and made sure I stayed on track and fought through it. And if I didn't have him, and if I need that support, I would not have been where I am today. Like, the support at home with him doing it is really what made the difference this time. Instead of ignoring what he was doing, I finally joined in and used him as inspiration, and not as someone where I was just like, oh, he's doing that again. I was doing it with him instead of being jealous, I guess would be a good word. I was jealous that he did it before, but it wasn't, I was always happy for him to lose the weight. But I was jealous that I didn't want that for myself bad enough. Like, I had that small bit of animosity that he's out riding his bike again. Oh, he's fasting again. That attitude, where he never did that with me. So I was a horrible buddy or support system for him. And we basically were the knight in shining armor since I started the journey here, which gave me the strength to keep going and to feel how good it feels. And, so fast forward, all these, what was your total loss since I started?
Since you started?
Yeah.
So for this year, I started at 240. I'm roughly floating around 190 to 195, dipping in the 180s. So I'd just say about 50.
50, and then
for this year.
I was 309, and today I'm 214, 95 pounds for me. So together, since his highest weight back in 2012,
somewhere around 10, 12, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
I was, I knew I was 325. Pretty sure I saw 330 at one point.
Oh. So, I mean, we don't have an official photo, but I can insert pictures here.
The highest I have is a 298. And that's when I started this back in 2012 sometime.
Yeah. So originally your highest back then.
I've got a 298 picture, but nothing. I don't think I have anything above that.
So you're in you've lost about 130-ish pounds. If you go, depending if you go by this year, 50. But if you go by his actual highest weight, you're way into the 100-pound club.
Oh, yeah? An easy 120.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say 120. And you have like 5 pounds or so that you want to get off extra, and then you will officially be done.
Yep.
And I've got 40 more pounds. So I started at 309. I'm currently 214-ish. I'm going to do another 40 more. And then we're going to close the chapter of losing in this family.
Just
and I'm going
maintain.
to maintaining it with intermittent fasting, a ketogenic way of eating, carnivore. He's been doing carnivore too. And what do you think? What's your thoughts on carnivore? How have you been feeling?
I like to eat meat.
You like to eat meat? So he's eating it. My dad's eating it. We'll talk about my dad's story in another video. And actually, comment below if you want to hear my dad and my mom's weight loss stories. We're like the family that loses together. Is that a good way to call it? No, I gotta think of a better name.
It, and then
my dad
did it.
Yeah, you, and then my dad. No, my dad, and then me.
And you and your dad are kind of in the same, along the same timeline now.
Yeah. So, but me and my dad both have around 40 pounds left to lose, and then we're all gonna be done. So, yeah. But I wanted to share a male's perspective, and would you add any points, like any tips that you could give our Keto Rewind fans? Because guys don't say a lot. I've been digging.
But that's hard because I decided I was going to do it. I just did it.
Right.
But I don't know that I really wind up focusing on a lot of things like that would really sabotage me though.
Well, you never eat wheat, so that really helps. Because that cuts off a whole section in the grocery store not being able to eat wheat. So that does help.
Like bread and then, the junk food aisle, kind of.
Because that
but most of it's all corn.
But most of it all a lot of it all is wheat. Wheat and sugar.
I was on it anyway, so.
But the corn, you can eat corn because that's not wheat.
Yeah.
So those things that have higher sugar sometimes.
Corn chips.
Yeah.
That's a Dorito, basically. That would be something that I have a hard time letting up on. So if
trigger
crack one of the bags open, that bad boy's gonna be gone.
But would you say overall tips to staying focused? What would be your best?
Staying focused.
Best, because you've done it so many times.
You just gotta track it. You gotta track it. And
track the macros.
Yeah, you gotta track it, and you have to set a goal. And that's really about it. You have to set a goal, and you have to track your progress toward that goal. That's really the only way that I've been able to keep going on that. I mean,
you're visual or numbers guy.
Last year, I wanted to be at 180, and it just never happened. I think I stayed at 240 the entire year last year. But
I was sabotaging. Let me add. I was sabotaging him because I wanted to eat all the things. So when someone's trying to lose weight and the other person doesn't want to lose, well, I wanted to lose weight, but I wanted it to magically fall off without the hard work. So, and he had that goal last year, but I kept saying, "Hey, you want to go get ice cream? Hey, you want to go have Mexican? You want to go to whatever restaurant?" So that didn't help because I was sabotaged. You never did complain. I mean, it was good food. At least it was good food.
Yeah. You were good at Mexican? Yes, let's go. I think I'm ready now.
So, yeah. But having that support system, had I been on board sooner, we wouldn't be doing this, because it was me.
Yeah.
I didn't want it. I didn't want to put the work in. I wanted it to magically fall off, and I didn't want to prioritize myself and my own health, which I've learned that I can't do that anymore. You can't pour from an empty cup. You've got to make sure that you are taken care of because it starts with you for everything else, and then that helps your partner in crime. If you're on board, they're on board. Now you're losing weight. There's no excuse. It's a priority.
Yeah. You just have to set it as your priority. You have to set a goal and just work towards your goal. Make sure you have a way of visualizing your goal to see how far you've come. So,
and then do it.
That's what I found that's helped out with me.
And moving your body. I think a lot of getting that stress out, busy, crazy job that, just can get with you and just make you, want to, what's the word? frustrating job, period. His high stress job. When he hops on the bike for that hour of the day, you are in the zone, you know.
It's something else to focus on. You can't.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
I mean, it's all mental.
It's all mental. You know, this whole thing's been a mental battle.
It is. It's all mental. So I'll get out on the bike. I can't just sit there and focus on whatever's been. I got to pay attention to what's going on around me. And then also it's fresh air. You got in nature. Get out on the county roads, up where there's basically nothing and nobody, and you just roll along and
just
get that gets the energy
endorphin,
out, gets the frustration out.
Yeah, the endorphin rush that you get from working out, and dopamine, is that the word? What is released? Is a hormone that's released during exercise. But yeah, he comes back and, you know, he's smiling ear to ear, you know. But that was like key into fighting for it every day. That feels good. That's something you look forward to and makes a difference. And where I wasn't moving, I was sitting on the couch, or I was driving my car somewhere, or I was barely getting to the park with my kids, and they're kids that just need to be at the park and play.
They do.
So yeah, it's like it all of a sudden you just finally have to make that decision. What do you desire? Do you want to stay on the same path that you're on in the current, you know, doing everything the same old, and just having that cycle just spiral out of control? Or do you desire to make a change? And if you want to do that, you've got to start imagining yourself that as someone who is healthy. How do they act? What do they do? What's that person look like? And you're going to start doing that now, because if you act like that now, those small little steps lead into big changes in your life, and it makes it so much easier to do. And then focusing on, oh, I just wish I could lose weight, or I'm unhappy, I'm miserable. Well, you're the only person that can save yourself. And if you don't do it, if you're not willing to put in the work, or you have an excuse, you don't want it bad enough. And that's hard truths. And unfortunately, that's the way that the cycle repeats. So to break that cycle, to make that change, you need to start making yourself a priority and putting in the work. Roll up those sleeves and get a friend, a spouse, a significant other, something. You've got to get the support system, because I feel like when we finally did it together, we have made that change, and we smashed those goals. And
it does help a lot. I always hit 205 and then came back up.
Because I wasn't there.
220, and she's like, "Hey, let's go to Andy's," and I'm like, "Yeah, all right,
let's go get ice cream." But that's the thing. And also, go ahead.
You know, I mean, once you stop doing that, though, it's just now I'm just kind of hitting this little. I don't even know if it's a plateau. 288.
You're at the point
291, 294, 288. I don't know.
But then you've maintained that for several months now.
I've been sitting in the same spot for months. Where I sat in 205 for a few months as well, and then bam, there's a decent drop down, roughly 10. So I don't know. It's weird to see how it goes.
But you're only 5 pounds from his goal weight. It's gonna be harder now, anyways. He's not gonna stop fighting though, because I'm certainly not gonna let him stop fighting, because I'm finally here for him and I'm his support now. So, because I don't know, there's been some times in the past couple of months that he's been into the pantry, and I'm like, get out of there, or I would take it and hide it from him. And I'm finally there for him. He's having those moments.
I am always in the pantry.
You are. I don't know where you put it, but But if you have a question for Kyle, or you have a comment below. We're here to help. I can give you a male's perspective, because I know us ladies are a lot more emotional in our journey, where I wouldn't say there's as much on a men's perspective, but you have different ways of getting to the finish line, is what I'm trying to say. So like, ladies kind of like talk it out and, have more of a support type role that's needed, versus guys don't really talk about that stuff. Right? Would you say? You don't really voice, yeah. So
I'm talking about anything.
But he is Mr. Introvert. But anyways, he's within 5 pounds of his goal weight. So there's a lot of advice. We've yo-yoed a lot since we've met, and you know, we've
over
been
the past 7 years. I've been all over the place.
But he always gets back down. Where me, I kept gaining. You know, where like he gained and lost, whatever. But yeah, I'm there now.
Turn yourself short.
I love him. So, but anyways, I'm going to insert some before and after pictures to show together. If I'm as of today, if I've lost 95 pounds, what do you want to say? You want to use your whole amount from your highest, or do you want?
If you start from 2012, I'm down to what?
So 130.
It's probably 220 back in 2012, and I'm down to I think it was 194 this morning.
So what's the total?
I would just basically call that 125.
So 125 plus 95. You do the math. What is that? How much have we lost together?
125 and 95?
So we've lost 220 pounds between us. We've lost a whole average male.
You lost me.
I lost you for in between us. So between the two of us, we have lost 220 pounds using essentially a ketogenic diet, intermittent fasting, Whole 30, which was back in the day, and just fighting for it every day. You can't give up. So I'm pretty proud. I know I'm not done yet, but I know I'm going to get there for the first time, and I can't wait to bring you guys along with us. So, any final thoughts? No? All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you at the next video. And comment below if you want to hear my dad or my mom's weight loss story too. So, I'll see you later. I'm Jess.
And I'm Kyle.
And you're watching Keto Rewind. Bye-bye.